And we're live. All right, and we're live. Hello, everybody. It's going to be a quick show tonight. It looks like it's only going to be Wayne and I, which is fine. I love me some Wayne Lynch, the professor. Um, but it looks like it's just going to be us two for a little bit. Tonight, I just want to go quickly over what happened on Sunday night, what happened last night,
Oh yeah.
and and go over what is the shit show that is the Carolina Panthers. At least for a moment anyway. So we are live. It's just him and I. Anybody wants to join us, that's fine. But it's gonna be short and sweet. Um, with that being said, uh, Chicago and oh, I was at it there. Just give me a second. Chicago and Houston played Sunday night. Houston looks like they're picking up right where they left off last year. CJ Stroud, Ohio State alum, by the way. He is a Buckeye.
You had to throw
Um,
that in there.
yep, got to throw it in there. Has retained his own talent, and he's playing as good as he did last year. Um, I, I want to ask you, what do you think of Caleb Williams, Wayne? What's your opinion of that kid?
2 games in, I really, as they say, and I hate to be cliche about it, but the jury's still out.
Okay,
He has some good moments, but I mean he's a rookie. There's still that learning curve.
right?
No one else in the foreseeable future, as far as I'm concerned, is going to come in like C.J. Stroud did last year.
No,
So Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, when he finally gets to the field, Bo
yep,
Nix, as you already can see, they're taking their knocks.
yep, yeah, they are. And I mean, there really hasn't been a rookie that's seen the start that CJ Stroud had last year. So again, you just don't know what's going to happen. Um, Caleb Williams, he's got a lot of growing to do, but you know what? There is a big and long learning curve for these rookie quarterbacks coming out fresh out of college, getting into the pro game where the speed of the game is so much higher and so much different than it was in college. They're bound to struggle for a little bit. Um, I like the way Bo Nix has started. To be honest, I like the way he started. And uh, you know, Caleb Williams, he's not getting the protection we thought he was going to get.
No, no, not at all. But that offensive line in Chicago, we talked about that before the season started. That was going to be suspect anyway.
Yes, yeah, it is, and you're right. It will, and it has been. And he's trying. Hey, Sheila, he's trying to make. I mean, he's trying to force the issue a little bit. I think he needs to step back and just let take what the defense gives you to get his confidence up.
Oh,
Um,
agreed, agreed.
but it is what it is. Who's the other rookie that's starting now? Too. Give me a second, and I'll figure. Oh, well, you got the kid in Indianapolis who got injured in game what 2 last year.
Game two, Anthony Richardson. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he's a baller. He's a baller.
I mean that pass he threw not this past week, but the week before,
Last week, yeah,
65 yards in the air.
yes.
And he was off balance when he threw that ball because he was getting pressure. Um, he's done a lot, and you know what? I tell you what, I think Russell's going to sit in Pittsburgh for the foreseeable future because Jalen Hurts is balling right now. He really is.
You mean Justin Fields?
I'm sorry, Justin Fields. I'm talking about. I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
last night maybe. Yeah, Justin
yeah, yeah.
Fields. He's pretty much. I mean, he's in a better system now than he was in Chicago. But he's balling right now in Pittsburgh. As much as I hate to say it.
Better offensive line, and I mean that's just proven itself out based
Right.
on Caleb Williams.
Yes, I agree.
Hi, Sheila. By the way,
Hi, Sheila. Yep. What we got going on here? Okay, that's the only one we got. All right. Um, who's the other rookie that's starting now? There's three of them.
Jaden Daniels, Washington.
Jaden. Yeah, all right. Jaden Daniels from Washington. He looked good too. I mean, granted they played the Giants, but still he looked good. He looked good yesterday or Sunday as well. Um, so he's getting somewhat of a better start too. But again, excuse me, all three of these rookies are still showing their struggles accommodating and adjusting to the pro game. So, but again, it's only week 2, so it's
Yeah,
still so early in the season.
Plus, the difference between pro and college, and when you're playing in college and you play some of these teams that actually play you to get the money,
Yep.
some of these directional schools, if you will, you don't have to try to throw your receiver open. He's
No.
probably going to be open.
Right.
In the pros, you literally have to throw your receiver open to complete a pass.
And that's a skill that has to be learned. Yes.
Yeah.
So, so going back to last night, if there's a way Philadelphia can lose a game, they will find it.
Nice. I loved it. I loved every last minute of that last minute. I loved it. I hate Philadelphia.
Oh, I do too. And I hate their fans even more. But yeah. I mean, they had a 10-point lead with what, 3 or 4 minutes to play in the game, and they blew it. They blew it. And Kirk Cousins, the dude that last drive they did at the end of the game, he orchestrated one hell of a drive to win the game. But you know what? The turning point was Saquon dropping that pass.
Yeah. Well, the turning point was Kellen Moore even calling that running play. You run 40 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, you don't want to throw a pass down that deep when there was only a minute and a half left to go. You want to run the ball, and especially on 3rd and short, if you don't get the first down, do the tush push. It was successful twice last night. Do the tush push and get the first down, and that way you can run the clock out. It was a bad call. They should not have been throwing that ball at all.
No, I agree 100%. You either kick the field goal or, like you said, do the tush push. And even if you don't get the first down, you run 40 seconds off the clock, and they have the ball at the 11-yard line, as opposed to getting it at the 30 when you've kicked it off and kicked it through the end zone.
Right.
So, but then again, as they say, Philly played prevent defense, and it worked. It prevented them from winning.
My father, when I was growing up in the 70s, he says the only thing that prevent defense does is prevent you from winning.
Prevent you from winning. And that's exactly what it did.
And he used to scream at the TV at Marty Schottenheimer and Sam Chigliano, putting the prevent defense out there with the game on the line. And you know what? Prevent defense was the cause of the drive.
Yep.
Okay. That's the reason why they lost that game, because Marty put a prevent defense in, and Elway just marched it right down the field under that prevent defense. And it drove my dad crazy. Just made him nuts.
Prevent you from winning.
Exactly. So, and so with that being said, congrats to the Falcons. That was a good game last night. It really was. It was
a good game, and plus Philly lost, so I loved it. Because the irony of the word Philadelphia and the term city of brotherly love, with the most irritating fans pretty much in the U.S.
Well, and that goes for Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies fans. Again, and of course the Flyers fans too, because I had experience with that in Tampa. Flyers fans are just off the chain. They're just crazy. So I mean, Philadelphia. I mean, those fans are just friggin' insane, just like the city itself. I have been to Philadelphia. I did have a cheesesteak, and I have gone by the Rockies statue and all that stuff.
Right.
In Philadelphia. It's a beautiful city. I mean, I saw Independence Hall and all that stuff, but fans are just freaking insane. They're nuts.
Yeah, they're irritating. Phillies fans, being a Braves fan, of course, in baseball, that annoying as all get out.
Yep.
Not going to use. Well, I'm going to try not to use profanity. So
it's never stopped us on this show. If you want to, use
no, it hasn't. That's true. That's true.
But
I do have a rant coming up, by the way, in a little bit that I got to get on.
Before we get to your rant, let's just say one last thing. What in the hell is going on in Carolina?
Okay, this is where the last statement I made about using profanity and not using profanity, it is a literal shit show.
They're benching Bryce Young after 2 games. Okay. The franchise, from the ownership on down,
He's the problem.
Has misused and not trained him or not made him better. They have mismanaged his career since he was drafted last year.
Yes. Yes, and that starts with the owner on down.
Yes, it's from the owner. And of course, we all know how much we love the shit show that is just the owner himself. But they have mismanaged Bryce Young. He is another guy that I can see being another I can't think. Being another one of those rookie quarterbacks who will eventually go to another team and will excel
and be successful.
Yes. And be successful because he's got a better foundation around him. Okay. I mean, you've got to understand they've had 3 head coaches in one inside of a calendar year.
Yeah.
They had Frank Reich. He was fired. They went with another guy, and now they got a new one again.
Steve, well, about 2.5 years. Frank Reich. Before that, they had Matt Rule. He got fired. Steve Wilks was the interim coach. Then they hired Frank Reich, fired him. So,
well, Frank Reich was the head coach as of the draft last year. So he's the one that brought in Bryce Young. So and he got fired early in the season, and I forget the name, the guy that was interim end of the year, and now the head coach there. I mean, he's had 3 different systems.
Yep.
In a year.
Yep.
How can a kid grow when he's got to learn a new playbook every 6 months?
Yep. The coach now, I can't remember. Is it Dan or Dave Canales? One of the two.
I think it's Canales. Yeah, I think it's Canales. I don't care who.
But I can't remember if it's Dan Canales or Dave Canales.
Right. I think it's Dave. But anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's almost. Well, it's almost like Alex Smith in San Francisco years ago when he had 3 different coordinators in 3 years.
Yep. So, yeah, it's Dave Canales, by the way. It is
Dave Canales. I couldn't remember if it was Dave or Dan. So
yeah, it's Dave.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere else. He'll probably be a backup for a year or 2, and then whether he gets traded from that team to another team, then he'll be successful.
Well, look at Sam Darnold. What he did when he left Carolina.
Yep.
Left the Jets. He went to Carolina, left Carolina, went to San Francisco. 1 year under San Francisco, he gets traded to Minnesota. Boom! Look at what happened. He's 2-0.
Yep. Yep.
And he had a 97-yard bomb to Justin Jefferson on Sunday.
Yep.
And you know what? That ball was put right in his lap because he was running and he got it in stride.
Caught it in stride.
It was right on target. So.
That was the killer play that, in my opinion, that actually beat San Francisco because other than that, tight game all the way except for that.
He played. Granted, you and Elliot both say that the Niners can't win in Minnesota. They haven't won in so many years.
92.
Right. But the Niners are the Niners. They should have won that game. But you know what?
I agree.
Minnesota was the better team on Sunday.
Hey, any given Sunday. I mean, tell me one sports book that had not only New Orleans covering, but winning and winning big against the Cowboys.
Derek Carr. And that, I mean, that new offense in New Orleans, it's a Kubiak. I think it's Kubiak's son.
Yeah, Clint Kubiak.
Clint Kubiak.
Yeah.
I mean, he has revamped that offense and made it a powerhouse. Now let's see what they can do this week. But I mean, they just destroyed the Cowboys.
Yeah,
destroyed them.
What the hell is wrong with Derek Carr? What does he think? This is 2017 when he was playing with the Raiders?
He's been rejuvenized. I mean, and Alvin Kamara balled out with 3 touchdowns.
4
touchdowns.
4.
1 passing, 3 rushing.
Yep.
And it was just phenomenal. And they did it at Jerry's house, which was beautiful. Yeah. That was gorgeous. That was wonderful.
Winning is one thing. If they would have
been in Jerry World, yeah.
If they'd have won in New Orleans, okay,
right.
Still, the score would have been surprising. But to beat them in Jerry World, and I saw a meme today where a guy was taking his big screen TV out. I'm assuming it was already in his garage, just where he was watching it. He took it, put it in his driveway, got in his truck, rolled out to the curb, backed up over the TV, and just smashed it. I was like, perfect, perfect.
Seems I've seen that meme a lot, man, before in the past.
Because it was the TV's fault.
I don't think it was a new meme, but it's the same old. It's the same meaning because they're just bringing back an old classic. So
yeah, I was laughing because I'm like, yeah, it was the TV's fault.
Some transactions to note. Kansas City is re-signing Hunt to their practice squad for availability to be played this weekend. Kareem Hunt, as you know, played with the Browns last year. He's a favorite of mine. I like Kareem Hunt.
Pacheco's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a fibula.
Yeah, but it brings him back home to Kansas City where he was so great with the Chiefs all those years. Justin Fields is going to start again this week for Pittsburgh. I think Russ has lost his job.
Well, I mean, you can't
compared it to Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady.
Yeah,
you injure yourself, you bring in Fields, and he does great, and you're done.
You can't replace. Well, the rumor is in football anyway, or the mantra is in football, you can't lose your job because of injury. However,
tell it to Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah. However, when the other quarterback has started 2-0 and Pittsburgh hasn't been dynamic, but they've won. So therefore, you can't change it up. Otherwise, you're going to have a split locker room.
Right. But I say this with all. I want to say you want to hesitate on anointing the Steelers because the last half of their season is going to be brutal. It's
going to be murderers row.
It's going to be brutal. I mean, the Ravens twice, the Bengals twice, the Browns twice. They've got
6 of the last 8 games are in the division.
Correct, and it's just that last part of the schedule is going to be brutal for Pittsburgh. And I mean, granted, it's late in the season; they may be in their groove, but they need to get as many wins as they can before then, because when they get there, it's going to be brutal. It really is.
Regardless, they're 2-0, but I still have them last in that division.
I had them last and out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I have them last in that division.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. If Justin Fields keeps going the way he's going, it'll be fine. But I still think the Pittsburgh is going to get creamed at the last part of the season.
The problem with that is still with Pittsburgh. If you bring Russ back and he loses, then you're going to have a divided locker room, because it's like, well, we were 2-0 with this guy. Like I said, undefeated versus a guy coming back.
Yep.
He loses a game or two. Yep. Now that locker room is looking at Mike Tomlin like, what the hell are you doing?
Right. All right. What's your rant?
My rant comes totally in baseball, so it's off of football.
I'm assuming the Braves have something.
And it has to do with the Atlanta Braves.
I'm sure.
Sean Murphy sucks. I'm just going to start it off by that. Sean Murphy sucks. Why they traded Shane Langoliers to the Athletics for this guy, I have no idea. He sucks. If the ball's hit in the air, there's a good chance he might hit a home run. But he's a right-handed batter. I don't think he's ever heard of right field. He can't go the other way. Every ball is either pulled to the shortstop or the third baseman, or it's a strikeout. Yeah. And the first 2 pitches he sees are straight down the middle, and he takes them. And then somebody throws him a sweeper, a slider, or a curveball that's over in the left-handed batter's box, and he swings at it. He sucks. He absolutely sucks.
Your sister's in the chat, by the way. Pinkita's here.
What's up, sis? Sean Murphy. I said hello to my sister. Now I'm off my rant. Sean Murphy sucks. He's
no Dale Murphy. That's for damn sure.
No, he's no Dale Murphy. When he comes to bat, he irritates me so much. And plus, the way they have the batting lineup constructed right now, and granted, I know they have injuries, you can't have Sean Murphy and Jarred Kelenic batting behind each other, because both of those individuals, I'm going to say the word individuals. I want to use another word, but I'm going to say individuals.
Motherfuckers.
Well, yeah, that could have been it. But they irritate me. Now, Jarred Kelenic, I get it. Left-handed, he's a strikeout artist, but Sean Murphy, he's a strikeout artist. And I don't mean because he's a pitcher. I mean because when he goes up there, he just strikes out, or it's a grounder to third or a grounder to short. If he hits the ball to right field, that means the ball was so far inside and he got jammed and check swung on it that it just went to right field. He can't go to right field, and he irritates me. He's like that mosquito that keeps flying around your head that you can't kill.
Right.
So that's my rant. Come on, Atlanta, make the playoffs because the pitching staff is what's carrying you. You got to get Albies back. You got to get Riley back.
Well, you sure as hell aren't going to win the division.
No, they're not going to win the division. I didn't want them to win the division to get 4 days off and then come out and lose in the first round. You got to get Riley back, please. Yep. Brian Snitker, make Travis d'Arnaud the everyday catcher. Sean Murphy, let him catch every fourth day.
Yeah.
Not every other day or every 2 days, and then d'Arnaud catches on the third day. Make d'Arnaud the catcher because he may strike out, but at least he's going to put the ball in play and he can hit the ball to right field. So there you go. That's my rant. I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good rant. I just want to throw this out there. Today is National Voter Registration Day. If you have not registered to vote,
please do
so. Granted, I'm not going to preach as to who I want to win because everybody on this show knows who I want to win, but still, doesn't matter. Get registered and go out there and vote. Do your civic duty and vote. So but that's just me. Finally, I want to say, as far as the Browns go, they've got a lot of offensive linemen injured.
Do they even have their starting lineup as far as the offensive line playing
anymore?
Because everybody was injured.
Right. I mean, they've got two stars, Wills and what's the other guy's name? Why can't I think of his name? Good Lord. Oh, come on. News. Give me a second. Oh, what is... God.
All I know is pretty much everybody on the offensive line for the Browns.
It's a walking. It's a triage unit, is what it is. Yeah. It's a triage unit. And I mean, we're still waiting. I mean, we got 2 more games before Chubb comes back. I can't wait for that to happen. The wide receiver core is fine. I mean, Jerry Jeudy had a great game against Jacksonville. And finally, we got Amari Cooper getting catches as well. So I mean, right now what we're using Jerome Ford and Deontay Foreman as our running backs, and I mean, granted, combined they had over 100 yards yesterday, but we need Chubb back. We really do.
Oh,
we need him back.
No doubt.
Elijah Moore had a good game. Unfortunately, we lost David Bell to our dislocated hip. He's out for the season because he needs surgery.
What about Njoku on his ankle?
Njoku is still dated week to week on his ankle. So it is what it is. But I want to praise the Browns for screeching out a win last weekend. I know it's just the Jags, but still, we did it in Jacksonville on the road. Number 4 had a good game. Yes, I'm just going to call him.
You're not going to call him by his name.
I will not call him by his name. Number 4 had a decent game. And that's the only time I'm going to root for him is when he's on the field on Sundays. Other than that, I could care less.
Right.
What I can hope for, there's Elliot. What I can hope for is that clause in his contract, they will, if he does get convicted of this most recent issue, they can void the contract. So, Elliot, what took you so long? Were you sleeping?
No, I just spaced it. Crystal came and told me, "Aren't you doing a show today?" I go, "Shit."
Nothing like being 25 minutes late, but that's okay. You're good.
Well, after 6 hours in the emergency department yesterday.
For what?
Let's see, the flu and.
Well, you were sick Sunday, so I know that might have been an issue.
Diabetic ketoacidosis.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
And that's scary. Are you okay?
Yeah, they pumped me with 2 bags of IV and
Insulin?
no, they
Okay.
just flushed my system and put some medications for nausea and
Okay.
pain
Are you feeling better?
slowly.
Okay. All right. I was only going to go a half an hour tonight because there was just me and Wayne. Is there anything pressing on your brain that you want to go over, or anything that's on your head as far as what you want to talk about?
I don't know. What did you guys go
We
over?
talked about Sunday night's game between Chicago and Houston, and we talked about how, you know, however, if there's ever a way for Philadelphia to lose a game, they're going to find it.
And I loved it.
And Wayne loved it. But pretty much, I mean, it was a rehash of that. We talked about Carolina benching their starting quarterback and what the hell was going on there. But other than that, Wayne had a rant on the Braves because he says, what's his name, Wayne?
The catcher, Sean Murphy.
Sean Murphy sucks. So he went off on a rant on that.
Who's Sean Murphy Starks?
What was that?
Who is Sean Murphy Starks?
No, Sean Murphy sucks.
Oh, Sean Murphy sucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who's he catch for?
He's the catcher for the Braves.
The Braves. He's supposed to be the number 1 catcher for the Braves. He's horrible.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you guys got shut out yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, they split the series with the Dodgers, but you know, if you're gonna lose 9, I'd rather lose 9-0 than 1-0.
But you're still 1 game behind the Mets.
Yeah, and that's what bothers me more than anything.
The Mets have a better record than the Braves. Who would have thought?
1 game. Lucky.
Well, you know what, to be honest,
but they play the Mets this week.
Yeah, well, they have one of the best records in the major league since the All-Star break. So they came out of the All-Star break on fire.
Who?
The Mets.
Well, it's about time. They were.
I know, right?
They were a freaking hot mess just a couple months ago.
That's
Yeah,
very
well,
true. That's
but
very
on the
true.
flip side, Lindor is going to be out for a little bit. So
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's pretty much
Yeah,
all we've done.
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, but
So,
that's pretty much what we talked about.
okay, so the Sunday night game,
Atlanta and Chicago. I mean, I'm sorry,
Right.
Chicago and
Houston.
Chicago and Houston.
Yes.
Okay. Caleb Williams will be no CJ Stroud.
Yeah, we already determined.
Well, if the Bears don't shore up his offensive line, he won't be. No, and that's the reason.
If they don't show up if they don't do something about that offensive line, Caleb Williams' career might not last longer than half a season.
Yes.
So now that brings up a question for me.
Because he's going to get
Maybe it
killed.
wasn't Justin Fields' problem, or it wasn't Justin Fields' fault.
Think about it. It's always been a Chicago Bears fault when it comes to their quarterbacks.
Right.
Always. They don't know how to. Dude, right now you look at it and you got a quarterback who is supposed to be your number 1 guy, and he's playing under a coach who's technically a lame duck coach, because if he doesn't win this season, he's done.
He's done.
He might be done by the middle of the season. So they're going to bring in another quarterback.
Right.
How many coaches did Justin Fields have? 2 or 3?
2 or 3.
How many did Trubisky have? 2 or 3?
Yes.
You know, it's like a coaching carousel in Chicago. Not just there, but in Carolina too.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
we were talking about it. What the hell? What's his name?
Who, Frank Wright?
No, the quarterback for
Bryce
Carolina.
Young?
Oh, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Yeah. Why can't my brain work right tonight? I have no idea. I've always had trouble with names though. But Bryce Young has had 3 quarterbacks, 3 coaches.
3 coaches in
the last year.
season and 2 games.
Yes, and won 2 games.
Yeah, 2 and 16, I think. Worst all time for
Yeah, Carolina has mismanaged Bryce Young, and that's the problem. It's not Bryce Young.
But that's because Carolina has mismanaged their organization, and that starts at the very top.
The owner is a clusterfuck himself.
With the guy David Tepper's an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, if the NFL could, they should just strip that club from him and try to make something.
Because he's a freaking idiot. He's just stupid.
Because that was just anyway. Getting back to Atlanta, Chicago. CJ Stroud did CJ Stroud things. That Houston defense is
no joke.
Monster.
Yeah, no joke. You're right.
Between Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter, they
don't need JJ coming out of retirement because they got a great defense now.
JJ can rest comfortably in retirement.
Yes. Agreed.
With that stupid commercial where he's dressed up with all this hair. And,
the Miller Lite commercial?
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
Pretty stupid.
Well, I don't see that in Florida. It's probably just a West Coast thing, but okay, go ahead.
That's okay, Joe. Look it up on YouTube.
All right.
JJ Watt looking like a bitch.
With the hazy 1970s filming.
Oh, yeah. God.
And but here's the other question: is Caleb Williams?
I think
93 yards in his first game.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a guy who told his punter before the season started that you're not going to have to worry about punting too much.
And he was full of shit then. He's full of shit now.
Exactly. Okay. So
did Caleb Williams even look at what the offensive line looked like before coming into the season?
Did Caleb Williams actually graduate, or did they give him GED?
I don't know.
Because I mean, come on. The guy, he's trying to do too much.
Yep.
There were several occasions there where he should have thrown the ball away.
Yep.
But he's trying to play hero ball. And
Caleb
right now,
Williams,
2 games into your career,
Caleb Williams has not realized yet how quick and how much faster the NFL is than it was in college.
Yeah, and he's basically right now he's the second coming of Justin Fields.
In Chicago, yes.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Justin Fields in Pittsburgh is a whole other animal. Justin Fields in Pittsburgh is so much more than he was in Chicago because he's got a better offensive line in Pittsburgh than he did in Chicago.
It's not so much that either. It's just the coaching staff makes sure that he follows the game plan.
Yep.
And doesn't do more than he needs to do. That's not the case with a team like Chicago. Chicago's got great defense too.
Yep.
You know, but that offensive look, they're missing Keenan Allen. He couldn't play. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze has been questionable. And DJ Moore just ain't getting off to what they expected him to do with Caleb Williams.
Right.
The running game isn't working. And well, against Houston, it didn't.
Yep.
And I just think Chicago is a hot mess, and they're going to stay that way.
Yep. I want to. We talked about the Steelers real quick. We have a new Mike Tomlin quote. Okay.
Bring it.
They were talking about the quarterback situation. Hang on one second. I gotta find it.
I saw
the hot dog quote he did today.
I saw his.
I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it.
Yeah. And I think somebody came out and said, "Well, I like mine with mustard."
That was a shout out to Heinz, but that's okay. But yeah, that's another classic Mike Tomlin quote that I saw today.
Well, it's because Mike Tomlin works on his timeline, not the
Mike Tomlin is a walking quote machine. He just the takes he gets. So
well, he just does things his way, and he ain't gonna let nobody tell him otherwise.
Yeah. So Sheila, all due respect, nobody cares what Tony Kornheiser is doing. Nobody likes Tony Kornheiser.
Who?
or Michael Wilbon for that matter. PTI
Tony
is
Cornhole?
always-
Tony Cornholer?
Yeah. Yeah. She's saying out there that Kornheiser is on the actual set of PTI tonight. Nobody cares because they're both freaking idiots.
I don't even watch that show.
I don't either.
I forgot it was on.
Yeah.
I thought they canceled it.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah.
look, overall, you got two teams going in different directions in that Houston Chicago game.
Houston, Chicago, yes. Last
Houston's.
night, Philadelphia's meltdown on the last 2 minutes of the game last night.
But here's the thing. Just one more thing with the Chicago thing.
Yep.
Look at the difference between the coaches.
Eberflus
Eberflus is a moron. D'Amico Ryans is a god.
Well, D'Amico Ryans proved himself last year with the way Houston played.
He should have been coach of the year, but they couldn't give it to a black dude, so they had to give it to Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go.
And you know what? In your heart of hearts, you know that's fucking true.
I think D'Amico should have won it as well. I was happy Kevin got it, but I think D'Amico deserved it more. But that's just me. I don't have a vote, so it's not up to me.
Well, he took a team with a number 1 pick or a number 2 pick.
Yep.
Coming
That
off
was
the
never
Wolverine.
Who
really
should have been the number 1 pick now looking at it?
That really was never on the radar to do anything last year, and they actually won their division.
Yep.
What the hell?
One thing I
What the
forgot.
hell has Eberflus done since he's been there?
Not a damn thing. Not a
Yeah,
goddamn.
he has. All bad.
Yeah. Yeah. One more thing before we get back to Philadelphia. 2 is on IR.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, he should be. He's not
His
going to
third
be back.
concussion in 2 years.
Look, he's not going to be back. Not even in 4 weeks. It's going to take a lot longer. The doctors are not going to just release him.
No,
They're going to take their sweet time.
Yeah, not with this third concussion in 2 years. I mean, the kid's gonna have CTE if he keeps going the way he's going.
Well,
If it isn't already gonna happen.
it's
So,
his choice. But remember, these guys are football players, and they've done this all their lives.
well, they signed up for this and they know the risk.
They do it to secure their families,
Yep.
and you really can't blame him for that.
Well, and if he retires on his own, he loses his contract. He loses all the money on that contract. The only way he can retain the contract is if doctors tell him
They medically retire him.
Yes. So, going back now, last night, Elliot, who says Kirk Cousins can't win on Monday in prime time? He did it last night.
Well,
But Philadelphia,
unfortunately,
first of all, I want to say Atlanta didn't so much win that game as Philadelphia lost that game.
well, you can look at it 2 ways as far as that goes. Philadelphia lost, but also Atlanta won the game.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't really contribute a lot about last night's game because I've spent.
You were in the ER. I know you were in the hospital. So yeah.
Okay. I got home with about 6 minutes left in the game.
Okay.
Okay. But I got to see some of the more crucial parts of the game.
I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the game last night. I've been hooked on. I've fallen down a rabbit hole with Law and Order CSU. I've just fallen down a rabbit hole, and I'm binge watching it right now. And I didn't watch the game last night, but that's okay.
I think Philadelphia lost the game for 2 reasons. Above all, Saquon Barkley dropping that 33.
I mean, Saquon. I mean that was the biggest play of the game. When Wayne and I talked about that.
But at the same
instead of throwing
time,
a pass on that down, run the ball. If you get close, you don't get the first down, it's fine. Tush push. They worked twice before that night last night. Get the tush push and get your first
and that's
down
why I
and run down the
say
ball.
that's why I say Kellen Moore made the wrong call.
Right. I mean,
Everybody on TV is saying that they made the right call.
Atlanta had no timeouts. What are you doing passing the ball?
That's what I said earlier. Kellen
They
Moore
should have ran the ball.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Saquon Barkley can get you 3 yards. If not, he'll get you 2.
situational football.
And
Look
that'll
at
push
what
you.
got.
That'll put you in the push situation.
The Falcons could not stop the clock. They had no timeouts. You run the freaking ball to run the clock down as low as possible.
But
if you don't get the first down, you're still going to run it down. You're still going to run it 90 seconds almost, depending on the clock. And
it's
you're
only
not
40 seconds.
And
the clock is only 40 seconds.
Yeah. And Atlanta will start even if they don't get the fourth down conversion. Atlanta starts at the 11-yard line. What the hell? I mean, and you got what 30, 40 seconds left in the game. That's a no-brainer. But Kellen Moore.
No, I'm not going to say that that's a no-brainer as far as if they didn't make it, because that Philadelphia secondary is ass.
They're garbage. Straight hot garbage.
They're just Philadelphia is just a reincarnation of what they were last year when they lost their last 7 games.
That secondary was ass. Okay, on that last drive especially.
Right.
They were nowhere near the receivers. Darnell Mooney, I think, was caught a couple passes.
Oh yeah, he ate them up in the last.
Mooney had back-to-back big catches on that last drive.
Those two first, yeah. He dumped one off to Pitts. Then he threw a 27-yarder to Mooney. Then I think he threw another 17-yarder to Mooney.
21-yarder.
And Mooney gets out of bounds on the second play. Yes.
And then he threw another one to Drake London.
Yeah.
Which got them closer. I think it was the 11.
I tell you what, that out route that the receiver, I forgot the name of the receiver that caught the winning touchdown, but that
Drake London.
Drake London.
That route London ran, faked the cornerback out of his friggin' shoes, and was wide open for that pass into the front corner of the end zone that won him the game. That was a great route, and it was a great read by Kirk Cousins, and it was perfectly executed.
And it was lousy secondary play.
Yes, it was.
Let's get to the bottom of it. It was lousy secondary.
How do you not protect the out route? How do you not protect the out route in that situation? I don't understand it. Come on.
And that's supposed to be their best corner, Slade. Yeah, he got Slade all right. He got Slade.
Yes, he did.
That's like when Kansas City threw to the offensive lineman against Cincinnati. There's just certain plays you might misread.
Yep.
That dude was wide open.
Yep.
And so was Drake London.
Yep.
Now, my other question is, and then, of course, Hurts threw that interception. They still had a chance to win it.
That interception was all Hurts. It was all him. He threw
not
threw
really.
Double coverage and just. It was
But you know what, Scott? Look back at the tape and watch the lineman that almost knocked his head off.
Right.
And that kind of took the ball in another direction, basically.
Okay.
He couldn't throw with his full force and accurately because he was leaning back.
Oh, he was about to get blasted.
Getting ready to take a hit. Okay. So that was more of the defensive lineman or whoever it was that was closing in on him. He's the one that forced Hurts to misthrow the ball.
Yeah. Which is, that's good. Atlanta's defense is pretty good. So, that's what that's.
Well, Atlanta's defense is good, especially in the middle of the field with Jesse Bates.
Yep.
Jesse Bates ain't no joke. And the only reason Pittsburgh won against Atlanta was because they had Fields throwing the ball to the outs, not in the center of the field where Jesse Bates is at. You want to beat Atlanta's defense? Don't throw the ball the way of Jesse Bates.
Right.
Okay? Because he's a game changer.
Yep.
Dude had an interception at the end. He was pretty much. Just as a representative, I'm in the IDP league.
Yep.
Okay. He scored 20 and a half points. 20 and a half points.
Oh, Hurts?
No,
Bates.
Jesse Bates.
Oh, Bates. Okay.
Hurts ain't no IDP. That's individual defensive player, by the way.
Okay. All right.
But one question I do have is, Do you think that referee should have thrown an unsportsmanlike conduct on Drake London?
No,
No.
if it wasn't directed towards a player, he directed it towards the crowd.
Right.
Right. And the explanation that I've been hearing is that if he had done that on the white rather than on the field of play, the referee might not have thrown that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter because they still made the extra point, but still, I think it was unnecessary to call him for that penalty.
Well, it's subjective.
Yeah. So
It's subjective. Like I said, I think the referee just saw him on the plate. He could have went and did that on the sideline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, it's a subjective thing. But Philly's 1-1 now, and so is Atlanta. But Atlanta, don't hang a shingle on this win because you got Kansas City this week.
yes.
And Kansas City, though, has their own issues because they just lost Isaiah Pacheco.
Yep.
Well, they signed Kareem Hunt today too, but nothing's going to make much of a difference.
Yeah, and how's that going to help?
I don't
right
know.
away?
I really don't know. I have no idea.
Kareem Hunt signed in Cleveland. What the fuck did he do there?
He was
He was mid for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt hasn't had a NFL highlight season since he was with the Chiefs. Okay. But you also got to look at the fact that he might not go in there being the number one option.
No, he's not. I don't think he will be. He's not. I mean, he's pretty long in the tooth, so I don't think it will happen either.
No. And I don't. Whatever happened to Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Where's he at?
I have no idea.
I think he's on IR, right?
I think he's IR too. Yes.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
And who's their running back now?
Pacheco or the backup?
Behind Pacheco.
Hang on. Where is he?
Samaje Perine.
Perine?
Samaje Perine.
Former
He used
Bengal.
to play for the Bengals.
Former Bengal.
And here's the thing, though, is that Perine, when Mixon went down for Cincinnati a couple seasons ago, Perine was a stud in his absence. Okay.
I mean, they've got other guys that are in there are Carson Steele and Xavier Worthy. But Perine is not even listed as far as.
Well, Xavier Worthy's a wide receiver.
Yep.
He's more like a gadget guy.
Right. He's a gadget guy, kind of. Yeah, I understand that. I'm looking at the rushing stats from Sunday. I mean, Carson Steele had 7 carries for 24 yards.
Carson Steele's a rookie fullback. He ain't gonna be leading the charge.
Right.
Okay.
He's not getting 20 carries a game. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
Exactly. He might not even touch the ball 5 times a game. You know. He also fumbled on Sunday.
I'm looking at the depth chart on Kansas City. Hang on one second. Imani Bailey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I think he's on IR. Keatani Ingram, Pacheco, who's also injured, and Samaje Perine and Carson Steele. Those are the running backs with Kansas.
Right now, Samaje Perine is the number one option.
Yeah, he's gonna be RB1.
Yep.
Yeah, and because he's next in line, you can't bring. Yeah. Obviously, how long has Kareem Hunt been training while he's been sitting?
I don't know. I mean,
how long is it going to take for him to get in?
He may be just a third down back, is what they need. Is probably going to use him for. But yeah, Edwards-Helaire is on injured reserve.
Okay. But then again, Edwards-Helaire ain't no answer either. Dude.
No.
So if you're hanging your hat waiting for Edwards-Helaire, you might as well just burn your hat.
Yeah.
And then, on top of all else, there's some big names out there that are going to be missing some time.
There were a lot of injuries this week. There were
Isaiah Pacheco, Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Who else? I mean, there was a laundry list of players that were injured or an injured reserve already.
Dan Hawkinson in the chat. You guys hear about the Packers center vomiting? Yes, the Packers center vomiting on the football before he snapped it to Malik. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and then he snapped it to him, and it's like, what you got? Man,
I mean,
Good
Morning Football was all over that this morning, actually yesterday morning, and that's why Malik did not throw the ball because it was covered in vomit.
Because it was covered in vomit.
Damn slippery.
Yeah. I told you there was another player that puked on the field for somebody. I don't remember. But anyway, how about the coach of the Titans asking Will Levis, what the fuck are you doing?
And then he went to his press conference today. He said, I should have been more aware that there's cameras on me all the time, and I should have been more selective of my language.
No, he says he doesn't regret his emotion.
No, I don't think he should regret the emotion.
He said
maybe the language, but not the emotions. No.
I don't regret my emotion on the field because he did something last week that's cost us points.
Yeah.
Well, the pick he threw last week was like an underhand Hail Mary.
Same type of deal.
That was one of the most horrible interceptions I've ever seen.
Yeah, and then this week he tripped over somebody and tried to ladder up backwards, and
they were at the 11-yard line.
That was ugly.
They could have kicked a field goal if they didn't make it.
That was freaking ugly. That was just lousy.
And then the Jets go down, score, and win the game.
Yes.
So how long is Will Levis going to be a quarterback?
I don't know. But who's the backup in Tennessee, though? That's the question.
Because I'm so sorry.
They'll be pining for the days of Ryan Tannehill soon.
And he's still out there.
Who?
Tannehill's still out there.
Tannehill? They should bring him back. If Miami doesn't jump on it, they should bring him back to Tennessee.
Now, Miami did. They signed a quarterback, is it Tyler Humphrey, whatever, off the Ravens squad.
The guy that used to play for Baltimore?
Yeah. He was on their practice. Yeah, he was on their practice squad, and they signed.
Obviously, Miami ain't trying to win no more.
I guess not.
They've thrown in the towel.
Yep. Hang on.
Okay, because Tyler Humphrey didn't do shit with Baltimore when he had a chance. And Baltimore had a better team than Miami.
Yeah, let's go here and see what we got here.
You see how organizations sometimes need to take the full blame.
Oh,
yeah, Huntley.
The backup quarterback in Tennessee, Mason Rudolph.
Now, Mason Rudolph played well last year.
He was decent with Pittsburgh. Come on.
Yeah. I'd take Mason Rudolph over Will Levis every day of the week.
Okay.
Yep. That's a no-brainer.
I mean, the choices aren't great.
Right.
But I'm gonna go with the lesser of two evils.
I'll take Mason Rudolph over Levis any day. Any day.
I'd take the janitor in section 320 over Will Levis any day. Okay, because the guy has no football acumen. He's an idiot under pressure.
Yep.
Okay, and he's really not anything special that I can see in that guy.
No, I agree with you.
So this week, what do we got coming up this week? Jets and Patriots on Thursday, huh?
Yes, Jets and Patriots on Thursday night.
Let me ask you a question. Were you impressed or not so much with the Jets' victory in week 2?
You know what?
No.
Aaron Rodgers is still not 100%, I don't think. The only reason why the Jets won the game.
I think he's 100% physically. I just don't think. I think the rust is. He still has.
I think he's rusty. Yeah, that's what I meant. I think he's rusty. And the Jets didn't so much. I mean, the Titans are terrible. So it's just, I think the Titans threw that game away. Specifically.
Well, literally.
Because of Will Levis. He's an idiot.
They literally threw that game away.
Yeah. I mean, they had a decent week last week, even though they lost. I don't know if it was
against who.
They lost to.
They got blown out by San Francisco. Hello?
Yeah.
Don't give them any more credit than they deserve.
Okay.
Here it is. The Jets, they won. Or, as you mentioned earlier, for another game,
The
Did
Titans
they win,
lost.
or did the Titans lose?
Yeah. I think the Titans lost.
The Titans lost. The Jets didn't win. And New England's defense is no joke. And they're playing in Foxborough, I believe, right?
No, they're playing in MetLife.
Oh, they're playing MetLife. Oh, okay. Because if they're playing Foxborough,
it's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers' first home game since.
But it really doesn't matter because they don't ever play well against New England. Period.
Well, that's
you know what? New England isn't exactly New England from the past. I mean, yes, they've had. I mean, they got beat by Seattle on Sunday
in overtime.
In overtime.
Yeah. And they defeated the Bengals. They Scott Freeze.
It looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, like he froze up.
He'll be bouncing off the screen here in a second.
Oh yeah, but regardless, whether they're playing in Foxborough or playing in where did Jets play in MetLife Stadium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Historically, the Jets usually do something stupid when they play New England, so we'll see.
Yeah, and the thing is that it, Scott said under the old regime, but isn't Gerard Mayo a student of Bill Belichick? Huh?
Played for him. So
assistant coached under him.
Exactly.
Okay. So he's basically kind of running the same stuff Bill Belichick.
At least defensively anyway. Yeah, he just said his entire system froze up. So
yeah, I know. I'm sending him a message back saying him we'll wait.
Technical difficulties.
We have her from time to time. This was not our fault.
Yep.
So, but anyway, yeah. New England, they've got a good team. Defense.
Better than expected, because a lot of people said they were going to be the worst team in the NFL, but Carolina's got that mantle, and they're not going to let
it. From an offensive standpoint. I don't think from a defensive standpoint they suffered too much. He just came on and now he's froze again.
Then froze again.
Yep.
But Carolina's bad on both sides of the ball. Seriously, Carolina's sorry on both sides of the ball.
They are downright awful.
Yep.
But again, we don't know. This could be a signature game for the Jets or just another same old Jets performance.
I got a feeling it's going to be another same old Jets performance.
Same
Even
old
if they
Jets,
win,
right?
if they win 20-17, of course they'll be 2-1. Which hey, winning ugly is better than losing pretty, but still, not impressive.
No, it's to this point, I still don't see any reason why the Jets should even be considered a playoff team.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Because they're in a division. Well, now Miami's probably out.
Oh, Miami's done.
Okay, by the time Tua gets back, and they ain't winning shit with Tyler Humphrey. I can tell you that right now.
Well, don't. Oh no, Scott. What's the other? Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
You see how awful he looked last week when he took over for Tua?
Yeah, well, he's the starter. Not unless they get Huntley in and give him right now.
So Miami's going to lose again this week. They're playing in Seattle, actually, too.
Yeah.
So they got to travel 3,000 miles with not even a CFL quarterback. Okay. And go up against Seattle, which is not a slouch team at all.
No.
They got defense. Geno's playing like a monster. They lost Kenneth Walker III, but Zach Charbonnet stepped right in there.
Yep.
And
Mike McDonald got that defense balling coming from Baltimore.
Who?
Yeah, Michael McDonald, the
Yeah, absolutely.
defensive coordinator for Baltimore last year.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's probably why Baltimore lost to the Raiders, because they don't have their defensive But yeah, I think Seattle's going to be it's going to be a tough task for us 49ers. But I think we could beat them head to head.
Oh yeah.
But we need to have Debo and CMC back.
Yeah.
Before long. I know CMC ain't going to probably be back till week 8 around there. Debo says 2 weeks. How many? I haven't really kept count, but how many calf injuries have there been in the NFL this season?
There's been that's the injury of choice this year.
Yeah, the injury du jour.
It's definitely the injury of choice this year. Calf injury. Good grief.
I'm telling you, them calf injuries are starting to just decimate everybody.
Yep.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I was out of touch. I was barely cohesive on Sunday when I came on.
Right.
So I didn't really, I mean, I put forth as much as I could, but it was like mumbo jumbo, jambalaya. Is Scott going to make it back, or should we just call it?
Well, it's over an hour. You want to go ahead and call it. That way you don't have to worry about pressure to try to get back on.
Okay. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
We were about to sign off.
Oh my God. I have no idea what happened. The entire system friggin' just froze on me, and I saw a frozen screen of me and all the rest of you guys, and I've tried for a good minute to try to get back in going on, but nothing happened. So I had to power it off and power it back on again.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. So
usually when screens freeze, you have to reboot.
That's
all you got to do. Yeah. Everything froze up. So, well, anyway, I didn't have much of anything else. So if you guys were about to sign off, that's fine with me.
Yeah, we were just talking about the upcoming game, Miami, Seattle, and of course we were talking about the Patriots and the Jets.
Yeah.
So, but we'll have more opportunity on Thursday to talk about
Thursday night and
all the game, the Thursday night and all the rest of the games. So.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Anyway, but thanks guys for covering for me. I appreciate it, and sorry to our fans if I screwed the whole thing up, but it is what it is. So, but regardless, we're gonna get out of here. Do you have an outro ready, Elliot, or do we just need to sign off?
I do.
All right. We're going to get out of here on behalf of our co-host, Mr. Wayne, the Professor Lynch, Mr. Elliot, Big E Lamba, the producer. I am your host, the Scott, the Sports Nerd Right. We will be back Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 o'clock. I'm thinking Sunday. Why am I thinking 7 Sunday? 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Thursday. On that note, Elliot, go ahead and play the outro.
Thank you once again, Nerd Nation, for spending part, if not all of your evening with us here for this latest episode of the Sports Nerd Show. Please keep in mind that we do this on a regular basis every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. And since each night's start time is different, please check out our SNN new page on Facebook for the correct time. So until the next time we come together, Nerd Nation, on behalf of the Sports Nerd and his co-hosts, Ken Costello, Doug Olson, Wayne Lynch, and me, Big E, may your lives be filled with all the best sports action anyone human can handle, as well as all the joy it can possibly bring you. And with all that said, good night, Nerd Nation,